Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. This is your brother Sean Ali here, Supreme Health and Wellness by Sean Ali. And as always, family, I thank each and every one of you who tunes in, shares some of your very valuable time and energy. And as always, I pray that these brief words are received in the spirit that I am striving to deliver them in, which is the spirit of your brother, the spirit of love, and of course, and always, in the spirit and in the name of God. Family, grand rising, I pray that these brief words find you and your loved ones in the best of your health, your wellness, the best of your life. And I pray that it is on purpose, because life is on purpose, family. And when we are leading a purposeful life, I believe we are leading a blessed life. So I wanted to come and talk about creating a healthy day, right? You're up. Listen, all praise is due to God. God is great. We had our grand rising. We are up. We are in the actions of life. So now it's up to us to create a healthy day. But understanding how we enter into the day helps to set that stage, because to wake us up, for the body to wake us up, it produces something that's called the cortisol awakening response. CAR. The cortisol awakening response. And we know that cortisol comes from the adrenal glands, which sit right atop of the kidneys. Now, we also know and understand that cortisol is also called the stress hormone. So we know that cortisol is the stress hormone. So that means we literally awaken under a state of stress, because this is how the body uses cortisol to break us up out of that state of sleep, right? So during the nighttime, the pineal gland produces melatonin to induce sleep. And around 2 a.m., the pineal gland stops producing melatonin. Now the body is beginning to set the stage for the end of sleep and to awaken us. To break that state of sleep, the body uses cortisol, the cortisol awakening response. But cortisol is also the stress hormone. So if we look at the dynamics, right? If we look at the dynamics, so the cortisol level, you got high and you got low. So when we awaken, our cortisol levels are the highest of the day when you awaken. So when we awake, right, it's a 30 to 60-minute window of the cortisol being produced. So when we awaken, our cortisol levels are high. So for 30 to 60 minutes, our cortisol levels, they become high and they naturally drop off. Now, what we got to understand is that during this window, we are under the influence. During this 30 to 60-minute window, we are under the influence of stress. So now this means that my nerves are frayed. Somebody can easily piss me off, get me mad, get me upset, get on my nerves. and I can extend. So now I have the potential to extend my cortisol level because I'm under this influence. So now I'm in this window, anything can trigger me, anything can cause me to extend my cortisol level. So this is how we awaken. So now we want to understand that the chemical we are under the chemical influence of cortisol. We want to change this chemical nature or the chemistry inside of us. So if my body used cortisol to awaken me, I'm now that I'm awakened. I thank God that I'm up, right? I thank my body and the creator for awakening me. Now I want to change the chemical input in me. I want to do it before this 30 to 60-minute window. So what happens is I awaken. As soon as I awaken, I got 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes after we awaken to change that chemistry nature, to shut down this cortisol production. I want to stop it before this 30 to 60-minute window. I don't want my body to be under the chemical influence of cortisol. So now the other chemicals that I can change it into. So now if I got this 5 to 10-minute window, so I awaken. And now what do I do within 5 to 10 minutes? I start to move. I start to exercise, right? There's many forms of exercise that we can do. I'm doing cardiovascular aerobics. I'm running in place, right? Listen, for those who pray, prayer, depending on how you pray, it is an exercise. In Islam, we have something, our prayer, the Islamic word for prayer is salat. When you look at the Muslim salat, from wudu or ablution to the actual prayer, it's a series of bodily movements. You are almost moving every part of your body, and you're doing it for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how you pray, right? A sincere prayer will take about 5 to 10 minutes. So that means when you awaken, you are doing cardio for 5 to 10 minutes. And now this exercise, see, when we exercise, we are getting endorphins. We are getting serotonin, right? Dopamine, oxytocin. So now I get up. After I get up, I got a window, 5 to 10 minutes, right? I'm not waiting to go to the gym. I'm not waiting to do hygiene. I'm not waiting to change my clothes. As soon as I get out of the bed and my feet hit the ground, I move something. I'm going to get up and I'm going to change the chemical nature, the chemical biology inside of me. How do I do that? My body has used, the HPA axis. My body has used cortisol to awaken me. So that means my adrenal glands are pumping cortisol in my body to wake me up. 30 to 60 minutes after I awake, my cortisol production is the highest. And after that time, it starts to go down. I want to stop that. I want to catch it within 5 to 10 minutes after I get out of the bed. I want to start moving, and I want to make my body produce different hormones. I want it to produce endorphins. I want it to produce serotonin. I want it to produce dopamine. I want it to produce oxytocin. So now listen, we got 5 to 10 minutes, right? So I get up and I start to exercise. And now for the rest of my day, instead of cortisol being high, my endorphins is high, my serotonin is high, my dopamine is high, my oxytocin is high. So now I'm going through the rest of my day elevated. I'm going through the rest of my day imbued with life and power. This is love. This is our reward. This is our painkiller. This is our mood enhancer. So I might naturally, our bodies use cortisol to awaken us. Naturally, we have the ability to stop that cortisol production and create a whole new chemistry inside of us, from one that is the potential stress response to one of life, of power, of healing, of health and wellness. This is how we go throughout our day. Under this cortisol, we are under the influence of stress. So you waken, you got 30 to 60 minutes of cortisol being pumped through you. In that time, you're groggy, you're imbalanced, you're off, you're slightly irritable, right? Anything can happen to trigger you to produce more cortisol. And now instead of this decreasing, you make it extend, and you have the potential to go into your day under stress. So once we know this science, we can easily control this experience. And now when we awaken, which is beautiful, thank you, God, for waking me up today. Now it's on me. Let me get up and move something. Let me get up and get into the action of life and change my chemistry and empower and imbue myself. Oh, due to God. So family, this is how we want to start practicing our awakening. We awaken, we give thanks, and then we get into the action. We move something. What are you moving? You're moving yourself. Where are you going? You're moving yourself into healing, health, and into the successful enjoyment of your abundant life. But that is all up to you. So family, listen, if you or anybody you know would like to learn more, we have the science in the book. Move something, right? This is move yourself into healing, health, and abundant life. You learn the science of exercise. You learn the science of exercise and physiotherapy. Because a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. Which one are you? Have you put yourself into the motion of life, or are you sitting around waiting for your premature death, right? So get your science book, get your science book so you can learn how to apply this strategy medicinally so you can improve your life. Remember, family, creating a healthy day, the choice is ours. I'm already up. The response that my body used to awaken me was through the cortisol awakening response. Now that I know that I'm potentially starting my day under the influence of stress. So I want to immediately change that. Getting up and I move something, and I automatically change the chemistry in my body to endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. And now I'm going throughout my day pain-free and with a mood that's enhanced, with a reward. I'm happy now with love. That is all up to us. Thank you all for tuning in, family. If you or anybody you know would like to learn more, please feel free to contact us. Supreme Health and Wellness by Sean Ali. Now look, let's go and be great. Carpe diem. Seize your day. Conquer your day. Create your heaven and set yourself in it at once. That is all up to you. I leave you, family, in the greeting words of love, peace, and happiness. I say, Namaste Hotep. Power to the people. Salam alaikum. Peace.